This is how to add July's housing fund as a recovery against August salaries for the employees. First thing you want to do is to prepare an item that you can use to post it. So we are in this view of get ID, which shows the different ways that items are added to payslips. It's easier to use this section ID view because what we want to use is a voluntary deduction. So this bolded one is pensions. This is all other voluntary deductions. So let's pick one. I can use this recovery. Always use an item that is there rather than customize if you can. Now, if you've already used this recovery in your payroll, you can use either this miscellaneous or other deduction. So let me activate this recovery. You activate it by clicking here. You say yes. It changes from off to FBC. This means that now it's available to be used here. So if we go down, you'll see the recovery is there. So now we want to add an entry using that pay type to recover the housing fund. Now first we want to get the housing fund figure. Go back to July. You had already processed, so let's export the figure. Let's export it using this report. So I say export. Let me close what I had done before. So I say export. It goes to my folder there, test. I say yes. I want to open it. So I'd already done this. Let me just delete the previous ones. So this is what I've exported. So I open. So this is the figure that I want to recover. So it's July's housing fund figure. Now to do an import into Nifty, create an Excel file. So July HF into log salaries. So just create a sheet that you remember its name. Open it, copy the employee names, copy the figure you want, change the title of the employee name to emp name, and change the figure heading to amount 1. This emp name and amount 1, you can, anytime you want to import any figures from Excel, if you put employees like this and amounts like this and title the headings of those columns like this, you can import this data. So let me close that. Let's go back here. So then I do import salary. I say import data. I go to my folder. This is the one. I double click on it. It imports my data. So it's imported the names and the amounts. Now you have to do this next step, which is match names, because if you're importing from an Excel file that had been written by somebody else, the names might not be exactly as they are in the payroll. So match names matches the people from the file you've imported to each person to their correct account in the payroll. In our case, of course, because we've produced the list from the system, the names match. If they are not matched, you could always search, find the person, and match manually. So after you've matched, to add these entries into, we want to add them here into varying items as a recovery. We say transfer to get people. So this form is generic for importing into any app. You can see down here. So you always take the names of the people, the amounts, and you can import them anywhere. We want to put into varying items here. We want to put into August, and we want to put as a recovery. So we select that, right? So what we want to do is we want to create entries with names, recovery, and the amount. So in get people, you have the name, you have the amount, and then down here you have the month and the recovery. Now you can also add a note. So you'll write how you want to say this. Let's say July HF not deducted from salary. click this button to add that note to everybody. Each person could have a different note. Like if I put a 1 here, it will just show that that person's note will be slightly different. So after you've done that, you come down here, you click this add to varying. Confirm that you're in the varying apps, click add to varying, say yes. That entry is entered. You see this guy had the 1. That was just to show you that you can put different notes for different people. But we've entered the figures that we want. Right, so let's close that. You can open varying again. It shows you if you had some other items for August, like in my case I had this bonus, you'll have certain entries here. So after you've done that entry, this is August varying items that need to be added into August payslips. So you come, you process, and you'll see, okay, I had already processed, so that's why you are seeing them. So you can see now these items have been added. So when you look at a payslip, let's look at an example payslip. You'll see the normal housing fund, which is line 18 here. That's the government deduction. And you'll see at the bottom here, that's the organization contribution. Then in addition, we have our recovery that we have made over here. So that's how you do it. And you'll have recovered July's from August's payroll.